Have you ever felt like the world around you is becoming too difficult? Like there are too many problems, too much stress, and sometimes it feels hard to stay hopeful? How can I stay positive in times like these? If you've ever felt this way, you are not alone. In today's English listening practice, we are going to have a real conversation about hope in difficult times and how small changes in our thinking can help us stay strong.
So if you want to improve your English while listening to meaningful conversations, make sure to subscribe to the English Time YT, where we learn real English and speak confidently. Hello everyone, welcome back to the English Time YT. Hi Lily, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Alex. But today I wanted to talk about something a little deep.
Oh really, what is it?
Well, sometimes life can feel a little tough. There are challenges, bad news, and stressful situations that can make people feel discouraged. But even during difficult times, people can still find hope, strength, and motivation to move forward.
That's a really important topic, especially because our listeners are not only learning English, but also learning how to express their thoughts and feelings in English. So today we're going to have a real English conversation about finding hope in difficult times. And while you listen, you'll also improve your English listening skills and learn useful vocabulary for real-life conversations.
So, let's start our conversation, Alex. I think many people sometimes feel hopeless because life can be very challenging. Sometimes people face problems in their work, their studies, or their personal lives, and when many difficulties happen at the same time, it can make them feel tired and discouraged. In simple words, when someone experiences too many problems without seeing an immediate solution, they may start feeling like things will never get better.
Yes, Lily, that is very true. When people experience stress, disappointment, or failure, it can make them feel like the situation is permanent. Sometimes a person might fail an exam, lose an opportunity, or face a difficult moment in life, and because of that, they may start believing that nothing will improve. So the feeling of hopelessness often comes when people focus only on the problems and forget that situations can change over time.
Exactly, Alex. I really like what you said, that situations can change over time. Sometimes when people are going through a difficult moment, they think that the problem will last forever, but in reality, many problems are temporary. And when we remember that life is always changing, it becomes easier to stay hopeful.
Lily, another important thing is that hope often comes back through very small and simple moments in life. Sometimes we think that big changes are necessary to feel happy again, but often small positive experiences can slowly bring back hope. For example, spending time with a good friend, listening to your favorite music, or even going for a peaceful walk outside can help your mind feel calm again. These small moments remind us that life still has many good things.
Yes, Alex, I completely agree with you. Sometimes hope does not come from big events, but from small everyday experiences that remind us that life is still meaningful. For example, when someone talks with a supportive friend, or when someone reads an inspiring book, or even when someone sees a beautiful sunset, these simple experiences can bring a little bit of peace and hope. And when these small moments happen again and again, people slowly begin to feel stronger and more positive.
That's a beautiful way to say it, Lily. You're basically saying that hope often returns through small positive moments, and when people pay attention to those moments, their perspective begins to change.
Another thing that can help people find hope again is changing the way they think about their situation. Sometimes when something bad happens, people immediately think that everything is going wrong. But if they try to look at the situation from a different perspective, they may discover that the problem is also teaching them something valuable. For example, a difficult experience can teach patience, strength, or wisdom.
Yes, Lily, that's a very powerful idea. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" people can ask a more helpful question like, "What can I learn from this experience?" When someone begins to think this way, the same problem can start to look like an opportunity for growth. In other words, positive thinking does not mean ignoring problems. It simply means believing that difficult moments can lead to better things in the future.
Exactly, Alex. That is such an important point. Positive thinking is not about pretending that problems do not exist. It is about believing that even during difficult times, there is still a possibility for improvement and growth. One final thing that can help people stay hopeful is remembering that difficult times do not last forever. Life always changes, and even the hardest moments eventually pass. Many people who once experienced very difficult situations later discovered that those experiences helped them become stronger and wiser.
Yes, Lily, and that is a very comforting thought. When someone is going through a difficult time, it can feel like the situation will never end. But history, experience, and even our own lives show us that challenges always change with time. In other words, today's difficulty may become tomorrow's lesson.
Exactly, Alex. And when people remember that every difficult moment is only a part of their journey, it becomes easier to keep moving forward with hope. So, Alex, today our listeners not only practiced English listening, but they also learned how to talk about hope and difficult moments in English. So now you can have real English conversations, even when you want to talk about serious or emotional topics. Just like our Real English talk today about hope in difficult times.
And if you want more listening practice and real-life English conversations like this, make sure to subscribe to the English Time YT, where we learn English and speak confidently. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you in the next video.